That's crazy, Van Dread. I never heard that before in my life. Thank you for letting me know. I'm not gonna watch him anymore. So if by the time... Okay. Where is my example? Where's my example at? 50k, 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 50k. 50k. Man. The sky is blue. I guess so. I want to talk about lying today. There are some forms of dishonesty that are so disgusting, okay? And in this JD Vance interview with George Stephanopoulos on ABC, now, I don't usually give credit to media for doing good interviews because they usually don't ask MAGA any questions. Trump never answers a question, JD Vance never does. But here, there's some fireworks, a little bit. And those fireworks are JD Vance having to answer a question. Or actually, he doesn't answer them. So one example to get started. So Tom Homan, who is the border czar under Trump, look at that face. JD Vance looking very masculine, as always. Now, Stephanopoulos said, did Tom Homan give the $50,000 back? So this happened where Tom Homan accepted a $50,000 bribe by an undercover FBI agent in return for giving corrupt government contracts. So Tom Homan took corrupt cash in a bag, like a fast food bag. Now, Stephanopoulos is asking JD Vance about this, like, hey, can we have information about this corrupt person in your administration? Okay, so Stephanopoulos says, did Tom Homan give the $50,000 back? JD Vance said, he did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And then he says, Stephanopoulos says, you did not answer the question. Vance said, did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Homan's life, he's been paid more than $50,000 for services. Okay, so obviously the question is, did Tom Homan take this $50,000 from the FBI agent and this corrupt money and keep it and pocket it? And JD Vance is like, did he make $50,000 at some point in his life? Oh, I mean, I bet he made $50,000 at some point. I mean, he had to have. I mean, everyone makes money. I mean, it's so pathetic. It's such a evil way to lie. It's evil. It is evil. It's openly deceitful.
We're joined now by Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, thank you for joining us this morning. Let's start with the Middle East. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Hamas has confirmed they are holding 20 living hostages and that those hostages are going to be released in the next 24 hours, early as today, perhaps. Have 20 living hostages been confirmed? When do you expect to see them?
Well, they've been confirmed, George. Of course, you don't know until you see these people alive, but thank God we expect to see them alive here in the next 24 hours, probably early tomorrow morning, U.S. time, which will be later in the day, of course, in Israel. But look, George, we have to remember this is a remarkable achievement from an administration that really chose a non-conventional path to diplomacy. And I think that's the major takeaway. The President of the United States instructed Marco Rubio, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff. He said, get a deal done. Talk to the Gulf Arab states, talk to Israel, find where there's common ground here, and actually let's go and find a way to get it done. And because of that, we are on the cusp of true peace in the Middle East, really for the first time in my lifetime. Certainly, these 20 hostages are going to come home to their families, George. I think it's a great moment for our country. Our country should be proud of our diplomats who made this happen. It's really a great moment for the world, too, which is why the president's going to go over there and celebrate with these hostages. But it's a great thing, and I'm very excited about it. 200
U.S. troops are being sent to Israel to monitor the agreement. What exactly will they be doing? Will they actually go into Gaza? And are you concerned they could get caught?
So yeah, 200 troops are being sent to the Middle East, boots on the ground. If Joe Biden did this again, another thing where if anybody does this, anybody else other than Daddy Trump, they'd be criticizing it.
Caught in some crossfire.
George, so that story is actually misreported. We already have troops at Central Command. We've had them for decades in this country. They are going to monitor the terms of the ceasefire. And that's everything from ensuring that the Israeli troops are at the agreed upon line, ensuring that Hamas is not attacking innocent Israelis, doing everything that they can to ensure the peace that we've created actually sustains and endures. But the idea that we're going to have troops on the ground in Gaza, in Israel, that is not our intention. That is not our plan. There was
It's not our intention, not our plan. It's not happening, but it is happening, and they're already there. They're already doing this job. They're going to monitor it, but it's not happening. They're not there. But to monitor it, they need to be there. Okay.
a bit of a misreporting there, but we are going to monitor this piece to ensure that it endures. The other piece of good news that's been underreported, I think, George, is that Indonesia and a number of other majority Muslim states, they've actually offered to send ground troops to Gaza to ensure the necessary peacekeeping takes place. That's not something the United States is going to be expected to do. That's something the Muslim world is going to step up and do. And that, again, is because of the Trump administration's diplomacy.
Okay, that's a really good, awesome.
And a number of other majority Muslim states, they've actually offered to send ground troops to Gaza to ensure the necessary peacekeeping takes place. That's not something the United States is going to be expected to do. That's something the Muslim world is going to step up and do. And that, again, is because of the Trump administration's diplomacy.
The president has also pushed for National Guard deployments in several American cities. As you know, that's been questioned by
They're not being deployed into a Palestinian enclave. Okay.
several federal judges, including Trump appointees. Also, the Republican governor of Oklahoma and chairman of the National Governors Association, Kevin Stitt. Here's what Governor Stitt said. We believe in the federalist system that states' rights. Oklahomans would lose their mind if Pritzker and Illinois sent troops down to Oklahoma during the Biden administration. How do you respond to Governor Stitt?
Okay, so this Republican from Oklahoma says, hey, I don't think the president should bypass states' rights, not only federalizing like Chicago or, Illinois' National Guard and take that away from the states, but also they should not be using another state's National Guard to invade, like a red state's National Guard to invade a blue state, because we have states' rights in America, and that's a bad thing. Let's see if J.D. Vance actually talks about the question at hand.
Well, I'd say to Governor Stitt, you have to look at what's happening on the ground in Chicago.
Okay, so already not talking at all about the president using executive power and using red states' National Guard, their National Guard, to invade a blue state. Already he's just justifying it. Like, this answer already is saying that he's completely on board with it. He encourages more of it.
And the reason why Illinois is a different case from Chicago is because Chicago has been given over to lawlessness and gangs for too long.
Illinois is
if you look at the murder rates in Chicago, the violent crime rates, you have women who have young families. They're terrified their kids are going to get killed in a drive-by shooting. We have accepted this for far too long in the United States of America in some of our biggest cities. And Chicago, unfortunately, is the worst. It's a beautiful city. It's got great people. We know the growth.
Objectively not. Cities in red states have a much higher chance of that happening than Chicago, but also that can be a policing issue. You could do policing. You don't do military occupation of an American city because you say there's crime there, and they don't care about crime. They don't care about crime. ICE agents are doing crimes right now. There's multiple citizens of Chicago in South Chicago, the South Side, where they say it's the violent area, where they said the first time in their entire life they had a gun aimed at their face was when ICE came to town. All right, not a gang, not some random person. When ICE came to town, they were ripped out of their homes and put in zip ties. So, like, again, I'm sorry. I'm responding to we shouldn't respond to this. If a Republican like J.D. Vance does not answer a direct question, we should be laughing at him, calling him a dumbass, and make him answer the question.
The majority of the violent crime in that city is committed by a very tiny fraction of the population. Why shouldn't federal troops empower the people in Chicago to live safe lives when the governor and the local mayor just simply refuse to do their job?
But as you know, a federal judge, a U.S. district judge, has blocked the effort to deploy troops in Chicago. And it was Judge Perry, and she actually said that a lot of these claims that were made, especially in the court filings, lack credibility.
Yeah, but scary
well, George,
words
we're obviously going to litigate this as
say.
much as we can. We think that we have the authority to provide proper safety to our citizens.
Now we have
all
the
over the United
authority
States,
to
but
provide
particularly in
proper
Chicago.
safety.
But I think for any federal judge or anybody else to look at the situation and say, is it tolerable? And I think the obvious answer, George, is no. The president looks at the situation. He sees the fact that you have multiple people dying of murders every weekend in the city of Chicago, and he says, this is intolerable. And it's not just
There's multiple people dying of murders in every U.S. state, bro. In every U.S. state, in every U.S. area, there's multiple people dying of murders. There's dozens of people dying from murders in America. A Charlie Kirk superfan just drove over two young white girls in New Jersey because they didn't like Charlie Kirk and he was an Andrew Tate fan. He stalked them for months and ordered a fake pizza to their house and then ran them over and killed them. Okay, that was not national news. Is that violence that the Trump admin is super concerned about? No, never that. Never that, dude. What about the Colorado school shooting? Who was a little right-winger 16-year-old with way too much access to violent materials and ambitions. Like, is that a focus? No, that's not a focus, no. Because they want to attack their political enemies. All this stuff is a veneer for their real political goals.
The people who live in Chicago, it's the law enforcement in Chicago, federal, state, and local, who are trying to keep us safe, George. You've seen ICE agents being teed off on in suburban Chicago, in places all over the state of Illinois.
And we got to call them dramatic little baby boys, okay? Like, teed off on.
And other places, too. You see 1,000% increase in violence against our ICE agents.
1,000%? Holy shit, 1,000%. That's such a big number. That's such a big number, dude. Holy shit, I'm scared. 1,000%.
They're being
Holy
assaulted,
shit.
they're being beaten, they're being shot
Where's
at.
the proof?
I think all Americans,
Where's
Democrat
the proof?
or
Where's all the
Republican, look at
videos?
the scenario, we say, this is not
All the videos we see are of mothers and kids getting dragged out of their homes.
Officials to be
Show us the proof.
To keep us safe. We can do this, and that's exactly what the Trump administration has committed to doing.
Governor Pritzker is our next guest. President Trump has said that he should be in jail. Do you think Governor Pritzker has committed a crime?
Oh no, dude. I have a video of ICE being brutally assaulted. Oh no. Not like this. Bro, they got not like this, dude. Not with that first. Bro, that's the 1,000% increase right there.
Well, I think Governor Pritzker has certainly failed to keep the people of Illinois safe. And it's interesting to me, Governor Pritzker will talk a lot, I'm sure, about how bad Donald Trump is, about how bad I am, and about how bad the administration is. He is the governor of a state that where its biggest city has murder rates that rival the most violent places in the third.
If you look at the third world, if you look at a list of states in America, if you look at life expectancy, how long you live, every blue state in America, most blue states, the top 10 states for how long you're going to live in America and how happy you're going to be are blue states. The best states for labor rights, the best states for healthcare are blue states. The bottom states are red states when it comes to how long you're going to live. If you live in California or Maine or like Massachusetts versus Missouri, you're going to live like 7 years longer on average if you live in a blue state. If Joe Biden said these red states can't give people health care, they can't manage the poison in their water supply, they can't manage the obesity crisis in these states, they can't manage anything, and Joe Biden said, therefore, we're going to send in federal agents to make them comply with my vision, everybody would rightfully freak out. Because in America, we don't have a dictator who can just say that. You work through Congress, you work through state legislatures, you work through these actual processes. You can shit throw all around, but J.D. Vance here, again, will not answer the core question of the principle of America. Should the president be able to use one state's National Guard as a political weapon against another state?
World, George, why is he so mad at Donald Trump for trying to keep Chicagoans safe? He should be
He's just
mad
trying to keep
at
you
the
safe.
criminals.
Guys, when they want to surveil you, why are you so mad they're surveilling you? Let them surveil you. They're trying to keep you safe. When they want to put a federal agent in your house, put a camera in your house, why would you worry about that? Dude, they're trying to keep you safe. Bro. Like, when they take all of our guns away, why worry about it? They're trying to keep you safe. Who cares about rights and the Constitution and separation of powers? If the government says they're trying to keep you safe, you should give up all your rights to them and just listen, all right? That's what they want. They want loyalty.
That he has failed to keep at bay. We're trying to help him, and we're trying to help the
We're trying to help
residents
you.
of his
We're
biggest
helping
city.
you.
I wish that he would let us.
It's for
because he
you
certainly
guys.
isn't doing the
I'm
job
taking
himself.
your freedoms
I
away
asked if
for
you agree
you,
with
for your own
President Trump
benefit.
that Governor Pritzker has committed a crime.
Well, I think that Governor Pritzker has allowed a lot of people to be killed in the city of Chicago and elsewhere, George.
Again,
I think that it's
not answering
disgraceful,
your question
and I think that
about
he absolutely
did he
should
do a
suffer some
crime?
consequences for the fact that
Suffer
there
some
are thousands of
consequences.
innocent Chicagoans
Answer the
who are
question.
dead
Did he do a
because failed
crime?
to do his job.
Ask one more time.
It's
Did he
really
do a
yes or no
crime?
question. Do you believe he's committed a crime?
Let's see.
George, you're going to keep on asking this question. I'm going to keep on telling you.
Yeah,
that
because you're
Governor
not answering the dude. It's so pathetic. It's pathetic. It's the words I want to say to describe this person. I can't do it because my liberal friends will cancel me.
Pritzker has failed to do his job. George, you're going to keep on asking
A lot
this
of
question. I'm going
our
to keep on
words.
telling you that Governor Pritzker has failed to do his job. He should suffer some consequences. Whether he's violated a crime, ultimately, I would leave to the courts. But I certainly think that he has violated his fundamental oath of office. That seems pretty criminal to me. I'd leave it to a judge
That
and
seems
jury
pretty
to
criminal
decide
to
whether
me,
he's
dude.
actually violated the
That's
crime.
pretty criminal to me.
Let me also ask you, as we saw the indictment this week of Letitia James on questions of mortgage fraud. Also, Lisa Cook has been accused by the Trump administration of committing mortgage fraud as well. The journalism outlet ProPublica has actually published a story, and I want to show it up on the screen right now.
Okay, JD Vance is not going to answer the question. Even if they have proof of corruption in the story, he's going to pretend he doesn't know about the story, okay? He's going to pretend he doesn't know about the story, and then he's going to attack the outlet itself and say they're dumb liberals who can't be trusted and move on. He's not going to answer the question. I guarantee it. Bet any money.
That says that several members of the Trump administration have faced similar questions. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer entered into 2 primary residence mortgages in quick succession. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy has primary residence mortgages in New Jersey and Washington, D.C. Lee Zeldin, the Environmental Protection Agency administrator, has 1 primary residence mortgage in Long Island and another in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so they are trying to accuse liberals of doing like mortgage fraud and a bunch of other stuff to try and like target them through like legal proceedings to get revenge on them, okay? Their perceived revenge tour. Now, this right here is just saying, hey, there's people from both parties who have these arrangements where they have primary residencies. In some states, they might live in another state. There's a bunch of different people in the current administration that, under the current administration's logic, when they go after liberals, would be doing the same crime. These are just official records, this publication citing here. But again, JD Vance is not going to engage with the facts. Well, he has not engaged with one fact or question this entire time. He's gonna attack the people saying
How do you
it.
respond to critics who say that the
This is like saying 2 + 2 = 4 and attacking the calculator.
Well, I'd say 2 things, George. First of all, ProPublica is basically a left-wing blog. I'm not shocked that you found a left-wing.
One. Okay, 1. Number 1. You can't deal with the facts. Attack them. Just attack them. Although they're citing official documents. Who cares? Yeah.
Well, I'd say 2 things, George. First of all, ProPublica is basically a left-wing blog. I'm not shocked that you found a left-wing blog that can attack members of the Trump administration.
Bro, the way he says blog is so...
Second, and this is the most important, is what does the law say? Letitia James was indicted in a left-leaning part of our country, a part that voted very heavily against Donald J. Trump for the crime of mortgage fraud. When I read the indictment, when I read the facts in the case, I see a person who committed mortgage fraud. Now, of course, the jury is going to decide whether she ultimately committed a crime. We don't
Just
try
like
her.
Obama
The
did treason,
administration
dude.
doesn't try her. A judge
Just like
tries
James
the case, and
Comey
the
lied
jury
in
decides
Congress.
whether she's ultimately guilty.
All those cases
that is
came
what
true.
is going to determine whether she goes to prison. I think we let the facts drive this, and George, that's what we've tried to do in the administration's Department of Justice. We've asked ourselves, has the person violated the law?
Again, he
and if
did
that
not
person has
engage at
violated
all
the law,
with the
then we
facts
decide to
presented.
prosecute him. That's what
He
the
just
Department of Justice
insulted
should
people
do.
and gave
It
a
didn't do that
propaganda
under Joe
narrative.
Biden's administration. It does under Donald Trump's.
But I guess this is what people listen to. People love this.
That ProPublica reported.
Do I dispute a far-left blog that I haven't read that you brought up?
Oh, that I haven't read. What an idiot. It's that I haven't
In
read.
this interview, I have no idea, George. I have no idea what they actually said, but I certainly.
He just told you what they said. He just told you the official reports they cited. Official reports they cited, okay? I know JD Vance is not dumb. He's funded by Peter Thiel of Palantir, a billionaire who wants to make a full surveillance state in America to track all of us. And JD Vance was bought and paid for since the beginning of his career by Peter Thiel. He's a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing here. He just knows the audience is going to buy it.
Question the source. I question their credibility. And most importantly, I'm not worried about what they said about members of our administration. I ask the question, what does the law say? And if the law says that you engage in mortgage fraud and a local prosecutor, a local grand jury, and finally a jury convicts you of that crime, then that is how the justice system is meant to work in the United States of America.
And in all these cases that JD Vance is talking about where they go after liberals, they've fired multiple people. They've pressured multiple people who resigned because they're bullshit cases. So in all these situations, they had to fight and beg to put indictments on people because they couldn't find any evidence of actual wrongdoing. So they had to put their own cronies in charge, their own friends in charge, because no real prosecutors, no real people in the legal profession would ever take these dumbass cases. So you can look it up. You can look up how they force people out, how they make people resign, all that kind of stuff.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
Here we go.
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous.
Dude.
I know Tom. I think
By
he's a
taking
good man.
bribes of
He gets
$50,000.
death threats. He gets attacked. He
Death threats! Damn, dude. That describes everybody on the internet. That's crazy.
Constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws,
he's a young
is getting
boy.
constantly harassed.
He's an
and
innocent young
to the
white
point of
boy.
Death threats. That's a much
cares if
more
he took an extra
interesting question that I think
$50,000?
journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe.
Agree
but
to
I'm not sure
disagree?
you answered the question.
What?
Are you saying that he did not?
You don't agree to disagree on a direct question about taking money. That's not agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take
Again,
a
non-answer.
bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for service.
It's actually crazy, dude. Oh man, you know, if anyone lies like this, they're a terrible person. Like you have to know if they're.
The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe.
It's the same thing as like, hey, did you sleep with her? Did I sleep with her? Well, dude, neither of us fell asleep. No, but like, did you sleep with her? Like, sleep with her? No, I mean, no, neither of us fell asleep, dude. Like, what do you mean sleep with her? Like what? Like what? Did you have sex with her? I mean, dude, what kind of question is that? You just don't answer. It's just like purposely playing dumb.
Different question. I'm asking you,
which
did
is
he
why he's
accept,
working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
Where am I? Who am I? I don't know who I am. JD Vance is now a dumbass moron who can't even hear the English language anymore. Learn how to speak English. Like, what the hell? Dude, where am I right now? JD Vance now has no knowledge of anything. No knowledge of anything.
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal?
He's talking like a literal toddler who just woke up and like. I mean, did you take $50,000 for what, George? Like, he knew about this before in the prior question.
To take a payment for doing services? The FBI
He's running the clock
has not
right now.
prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing. Nobody has accused Tom of violating a crime, even the far-left media like yourself.
Violating a crime.
So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you
Violate a crime. I don't know. I don't know if he took this bribe money. I don't know. But I do know he's not guilty. I have no idea what's happening right now, guys. But I do know that he's not guilty. $50,000? I mean, at some point, I'm sure he's made $50,000. Wait, from who? Money from the FBI and surveillance? Wait.
what was caught on the tape? You're
Who
saying
am I?
right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money.
What was caught on tape?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom
they could
Homan
just play
accepted a
dumb.
bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're...
Yeah, just attack the media. Just attack. He engaged with zero conversation or question or fact or whatever this entire time. JD Vance, all you got to do, and you saw Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi was defending how she's like keeping the Epstein file secret to protect Trump because he's on it. And she had no responses about the Epstein list, okay? She had nothing about that. What she did have was a list of burns, okay? Pam Bondi went to a hearing in front of Congress with a roast book to roast the senators because she knows her dumb followers want to hear, oh, you called him a bitch. Like, they want to hear that. They don't care about Epstein. They care about dumb politics. They want to see liberals owned. So Pam Bondi literally had a joke book with her.
Losing
in front of
credibility
Congress
because you're
while
talking for
defending
now
Epstein.
5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now,
LOL.
we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You
Democrats tried passing a standalone bill to fund the military, like usually happens in shutdowns. Republicans said no.
We're
by the way.
focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact.
Brother, he just said, do you know about it? He just said, do you think he accepted the cash? Did he give it back? Did he give the money back that he took, that he got? Stephanopoulos did not even bring up a crime. He just said, did he give the money back? JD Vance can't even answer that basic question.
That our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
Yeah, it's sad. It's pathetic. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe, repost, call the channel, whatever. I don't care. It's really, this is why I get drained doing this content, because it's exhausting talking to people who just lie. They don't do anything but lie. There's not even a debate. There's nothing to debate here. It's trying to get people to stop listening to liars. How to identify a lie. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. If you want to donate to Draw Out Politics, please do so on Cash App or Venmo. Join our Discord in my channel description or in my video description. Donate, become a patron. If you become a monthly patron, it really helps the work I do on here. Helps me do it more often. Thank you for watching. Become a channel member, all that kind of stuff. All right, who's calling? I did my YouTube video. Time for a phone call with the best people in the world. Oh God, Jimmy Kimmel's so not funny. Sometimes. To be fair, it's hard to do a funny monologue every single day of the week. JD Vance gets shut down.
So let me ask.
Nice. All right, no one's calling. Oh wait, never mind. There's one.
Call from
John.
Hello, you're on here.
Hey, yeah, I'm new to your show, but I by all means saw your post, Let's Debate Dictator Trump. I personally am always open to whoever's the best leader for us, but I just feel at this time Trump is the best leader for us.
How?
In my situation, I'm kind of judging right now based on the largest single factor I think that affects the country. That's what I would imagine most people is they do have one final issue. I can't say he's not a liar. I know what you mean by that, but well, my concern is we've grown too comfortable and we're not as responsible as we're supposed to be. I think we got a lot of people out here who are
you
not
think Donald
working.
Trump is responsible?
He's the best option between the two crappy options we have.
That's insane. I mean, the guy, you know what he said? Do you care about healthcare in America?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do personally.
What did Trump say in the debate about his healthcare plan?
I don't actually know. Sorry, tell me.
So Trump's position this election for his healthcare plan, which is a big deal. I've known people with cancer. I've had family members die from it. I've had people battling addiction. I've had people who really need healthcare in America. And America has a worse healthcare system than other countries. There's some ways to improve it. I think that, you know, Democrats have some ways to improve it. They don't go far enough, but there's some ways to improve it.
Yeah.
Trump, it's a big issue, huge issue, healthcare. When they said to Trump, what is your healthcare plan? This guy said, I have concepts of a plan. And no one gave a shit. It's a clown. It's a clown country.
Even the Trump RX scheme, you're going to find this is I am more in the middle, but I did have to pick between the two of them, and Trump was kind of still what I think is going to be stronger for the long term of our country.
Yeah, but it's more of an emotional thing. Is the issue? It's more of an emotional thing for you.
Not
Which
particularly. I got to be fair too, though. Is I'm not low income. So I'm not, you know, my preferences are going to be different, my issues. So that's why I think you could make that fair judgment to say, yeah, the upper brackets are going to be the ones who are voting for him if that's the divide we want to fall on. But still, all politicians lie, man. I don't fool myself here. I know that come every election, they're all lying to us, but I literally am worried. I'm almost 50 now, and I worry about the younger generation not taking serious enough the moral decay. I know that sounds like an awkward thing to people, but when I see people who are hurt and nobody cares anymore, when you bring up things like the healthcare system and people generally don't care.
Republicans don't care. Democrats care about healthcare. Republicans do not.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. We live in Michigan here, and we're just right across from the Canadians, and it's something that we don't understand too, because when I look at it constructively and I even go over for a weekend or something, they're not much different than us, that somehow they've got it afforded. So I would be curious to see the real numbers on that, but yeah, you probably got healthcare there, but I'm not putting above that the other issue that I'm literally worried about the moral direction of our young people.
Okay, what moral direction? What moral direction?
The fact that a lot of people can't define what a woman is. A lot of people can't understand very basic, simple things, and you're seeing arguments break out in families.
Okay, but just so before we go into this conversation, you realize that you're really privileged. You're very privileged. So you have the privilege of focusing on really stupid topics like what is a woman, right? We can acknowledge that.
No, and I hate to say, my friend, you're not going to really win someone's vote over to your side if you're just going to take that attitude.
No, I'm just saying you. No. Okay, if someone's biggest issue is what is a woman, I don't want their vote. They're weak. They're pathetic, honestly.
That's not the biggest issue.
If that's your biggest issue, you literally just said healthcare might matter, but the bigger issue is what is a woman? Like, bro, that's just crazy.
Not what I voted on. It's what I'm voting on is I don't think people have the right direction and moral compass anymore.
Yeah, and you brought up what is a woman as your first option. As your first option was what is a woman.
Well, it's just something.
Okay, what else? Okay, what other moral decay?
The fact that everybody thinks drugs are okay and they can just use them in downtown cores now, and that's something we're supposed to just say, oh, is a factor of life. No, not at all. We
Trump
need to
is
provide a better opportunity
pro-drugs. What is Trump anti-drug? They're all pro-drug. They're all on drugs.
Trump is anti-drug. He's never even drank a glass of alcohol in his life. So
they don't even talk about drugs anymore. They don't even care.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so drugs. Okay, what is a woman? Drugs.
Okay. I made my point, but I think your listeners will understand. It's an open mind and it's fair analysis. If you want to just put things in my mouth as well, nah, that's not going to help this debate. We're trying to figure out a direction for the whole country to go in. Not just how can I hate the other person on the other side.
You brought up what is a woman so far as your main issue.
Yeah, that one
drugs.
Is the most basic and simplest things. You guys, nobody should be questioning what a woman is. We know what that is.
No one's questioning what a woman is. No one's questioning what a woman is. No one is questioning that.
You say that at a younger person's campus right now, you know it turns into a loud house and a scream off.
I don't care what cringe college kids do. And also, if you talk to people and actually have a conversation with them, it would be a fun conversation. But the issue is people like Charlie Kirk led the narrative and the dialogue, so the conversation became toxic. You can have an easy conversation about this stuff, but the wrong people are in charge of it.
Well, you see, I'm willing to take criticism. I don't know if you are, because I would have even said that Charlie Kirk had failures too. He was too aggressive. He was in there.
No, he was dishonest. He led a circus act. It was not conversations on college campuses. It was owning people for clickbait. Real conversations are more long form. You don't have a real conversation in 5 seconds, bringing someone up to get yelled at by a mob.
I'm trying to delve into more about my theory and opinion, but you're generalizing me and saying right away, you know me. And
can you stop whining in this conversation and just keep on giving points?
I'll let your viewers and listeners decide. All right. Good luck, my friend. God bless. Take care.
See, he can't make any points on anything. He needs to leave. Yeah, he just left. Okay. So he didn't make one argument the entire time. He virtue signaled. Is this your strongest debater? I'm sorry, but you can't support Trump as the best option and then cry when someone's a little aggressive in a conversation. Even on a basic level. On challenging, like, hey, buddy, you don't have any actual problems. He literally said he's higher income, so he doesn't have problems. So he tries to raise rate the rest of the time. Hey, bro, honestly, if you're like that guy, I don't want your vote. You don't care about the health of this country. You care about your own petty political issues. It's whatever at that point. If you want to have real conversations, that's cool. But whiners like that, I mean, have fun with your money. Hello.
Is this the live?
Yep. What's up?
Okay. So what is a dictator?
I think someone who seeks to have, if they could have it, they would have absolute power. They would choose to bypass things like Congress and any democratic systems, any checks and balances. They would seek to, like, rig elections and overthrow the Constitution, like that kind of stuff.
So how does that, how does that correlate to Trump?
So, like, the 2020 election, he tried stealing it. He still lies about it. He still says elections can't be trusted in America. And he pardoned all of the violent rioters who beat the crap out of cops from that day and calls them heroes. That's a good sign of one.
That's not a sign of a dictator.
It's a wannabe dictator. It's someone who wants absolute power. They could, or they would take it if they could. That's their ambition, is to overturn elections. Okay, you could use authoritarian. You can use authoritarian, because dictator is a successful authoritarian. So we could just say he's an authoritarian.
But then all presidents would have to be authoritarians.
No, not really, no.
What is authoritarian?
So, someone who does not listen to checks and balances, someone who does not care about democracy, someone who does not care about the separation of powers between states and the federal government, someone who does not listen to courts, which are all things Trump is showing right now clearly he does not care about.
That's definitely not the dictionary version of authoritarian.
Like, was there one time where Biden lost a court case where he went live, where he went public, and he said, this judge needs to be targeted, and posted a picture of their child? Did Biden ever do that about a court case he lost?
I mean, I would say no, but...
Trump has done that multiple times. He posted a judge and a picture of their child, and called them radical Marxist. Judges he appointed himself, because they upholded just basic constitutional provisions.
Okay, but that doesn't make him authoritarian, though.
Yeah, it does. It makes him authoritarian. He's using a red state's National Guard right now from Texas to invade Illinois after the Illinois National Guard, the governor there said don't federalize them, and he was going to do it anyway, but a court blocked him. So he chose a red state to send their National Guard in to the blue state, and he said we're going to liberate your local the local people from their local elected officials by using the state's National Guard, and we're going to use U.S. cities as a training ground for the U.S. military, bro. How is that not authoritarian?
Which incident are you talking about? I mean, that's not authoritarian.
It's happening right now.
He literally had the right to do so.
That is authoritarian. You can have a right to do something authoritarian, and he does not have the right to do it. Also, it's going through the courts. But even if he did, it would be authoritarian.
What are you talking about, though? Because there was 2 times that he wanted to deploy the National Guard. One time he actually
There's been more than 2. He tried doing it in Portland. He tried doing it in Los Angeles, D.C., Chicago.
So where there was political violence happening at
Baltimore.
the time, right?
In Portland, there's nothing happening at all. No, there's no reason whatsoever. In Chicago, there was no political violence. No, they just did it because they want to do it.
Okay. I wouldn't even say that. Because, I mean, there's political violence happening pretty often almost everywhere you look right now.
Not really.
And
the internet, maybe. Maybe on the internet. The internet's making you afraid of everything.
Okay, but then if you're doing that, if you're saying that you can't trust anything you see, then it's all subjective. Then it's pointless to even argue.
No,
about
not
it, right?
anything. Not anything. But when the local police in Portland says, do not send in the feds, there's no violence here politically. When the Trump-appointed judge over there says there was no violence since July, when the governor says there's no violence, and the White House says we don't trust any of them, although some of them are Republicans, that is the big issue here. They are when we have official reports from these areas. We have a. I'm saying in Portland. Okay, in Portland we have the police chief saying there's no political violence. Do not send in the feds. We have the mayor saying that. We have the governor saying that. We have Trump's own appointed judges saying that. And no one cares because they can share scary videos on social media. So I'm not saying you can't trust anything you see. What I'm saying is we should be trusting the people on the ground there versus the government's propaganda videos.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm legitimately asking, like, because I've not heard much about Portland at all recently. So what is going on there that he even wants to send National Guard? Well,
there's 20 people standing outside of an ICE facility, and in response, Trump said there's domestic terrorists, Antifa, communists who are burning. Trump said they are burning down Portland. Trump said there are no businesses in Portland. He said they are boarding all of their windows. People cannot walk in Portland without dying. And it's all lies completely. There's nothing happening at all. But Trump is saying we need a response there as if it's a military training ground. And we need to bypass all states' rights and local rights and send in the National Guard and the feds. And there's nothing happening there.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say there was nothing happening. Wasn't there an ICE agent shot?
No. Even if there
No,
was,
but
that would
what's
not be
there-
justification to
was
send in
that
the
not-
National Guard.
But was that not the ICE facility that was attacked?
That was in
Was
Texas.
that not Portland? I think that was in Portland.
No, that was in
Then
Texas.
maybe I'm confusing the two then, because I
But
remember there
Texas
was
is a red
this-
state, so they're not going to attack it because they want to attack blue states.
No, that's definitely not true.
It is
That's-
true because the top murder
No,
the
they're
top murder
attacking
rate per
sanctuary
capita.
cities that are illegally harboring, and
That's not the
aiding and
claim.
abetting
That's not the
illegal-
claim, bro. That's not the claim. Again. So in Portland, they say there are radical Antifa terrorists in the streets right now assaulting ICE agents. There are people dancing around right now in inflatable frog costumes
No.
and T-Rex
No, I
costumes.
I remember seeing the video too of the ICE agents going down the street and they were like high-fiving people and everybody was like, "Hey, we love you." Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And
I
Trump's
mean, I
saying we
don't
need
know much
military
about
control
y'all.
of the city. Trump is saying we need martial law of the city. If that's not authoritarian, I don't know what authoritarianism can even mean at that point.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that one because I don't know much about that, but I do remember seeing that video of the Portland people, basically praising the ICE agents as they were going down.
There was a
but-
marathon there, bro. There's art festivals in Portland. It's a vibrant city. I mean, there's some crime in every city, but in terms of declaring martial law and military occupation of an American city, this is what I mean right now. If Trump can just say, I don't like this city, there's terrorists there, and he can lie about it and say, I'm going to send in the military against the locals' wishes, that is that's the most authoritarian move you can make.
It's definitely not the most authoritarian move you can make. I get what you're saying, but it's definitely not
In the
most
American
authoritarian.
context?
I think
In the
you're
American context, yes.
over-exaggerating it a little bit. Yeah, I think you're over-exaggerating a little bit. And you do have to be careful with wording. You don't want to sit there and get people riled over authoritarianism that's not actually authoritarianism.
It is authoritarian,
it's
bro. No. We can't do this. You're not doing your own research. You don't have the facts on your side. You got to do research. You can call back because you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you might not care because it doesn't affect you.
I'm looking at the definition right now. Favoring or enforcing strict obedience to authority, especially that of the government, at the expense of personal freedom. Where is he taking away freedom? Where is? I don't understand. You're not. It's not this. You're not using the.
So we have
definition
states'
right.
rights in America, right? We have states' rights in America.
No. This is personal freedoms.
It's
not
freedoms.
State rights, because the government has.
That is freedom.
Control
That is a
over
freedom
states.
being infringed upon. Yes, that is a freedom, a legal
What
freedom being
is
infringed
being
upon. A
infringed upon?
separation.
And the definition you just gave, what freedom is being infringed upon?
So the right for a local government and a state government to not have the federal government occupy their city without their consent.
No, that is not true at all.
That's happening
true.
in Portland. That's happening in Portland. And a Trump-appointed judge said in her official release that there was no reported violence since July, and Trump called her a radical Marxist, a judge he appointed. Against all their wishes, he still wants to militarize Portland.
I mean, one, he's entitled to his opinion. You're still not making the connection between authoritarianism.
It's not an
You're
opinion.
just saying
He's making
self-defense
official
doesn't-
orders. He's making official orders to try and occupy American cities. It's
No,
not
he's
just an
making
opinion.
official
He is the
orders to
president.
get crime down, which crime has been up, and that's not.
That's not.
It's not
Nope,
authoritarianism
no.
to
He's saying there are
be
domestic
tough on
terrorists,
crime.
Antifa warriors in the streets, and we need to militarize American cities. He
Okay, well,
said
let's-
the military should use American cities as training grounds. If you want to focus on crime, support police officers. Right now, ICE agents are terrorizing police officers as well.
ICE agents are terrorizing police officers.
Yep,
Where?
police officers are getting tear gassed in Chicago right now, and getting fake phone calls from ICE. Their resources are being depleted because of a bunch of calls because there's random federal agents unidentified in communities tearing shit apart.
Is this
So if you
verifiable
want
information?
to be anti-crime, then you could support local police. You can support these different things,
I
but
do
you don't need to
support
do a
police. I
military.
wouldn't support.
No, I'm saying when
I get
it
what you're
doesn't
saying. Like
matter.
No,
if
I
Joe
get what you're saying.
Biden, okay, if Joe Biden said, for example, in Alabama, there's a really high murder rate, and people in Alabama live until like 75. Meanwhile, people in Massachusetts live till 81. And Republicans there allow the water to be poisoned. And there's lead in the water. There's a bunch of environmental contaminants giving everybody cancer, and that's why they die earlier. There's an obesity crisis. If Joe Biden said there's a safety issue in, I don't know, Alabama or Mississippi, and Joe Biden said, hey, Mississippi, we're going to send in California's National Guard to occupy your streets until we could fix these issues in your state that are harming your citizens, because we need to fix you're having issues in your state. We got to fix it. If Joe Biden said we got to send the California National Guard and federal agents into the streets of Mississippi or Alabama to fix their issues that they definitely do have, would you be for or against that?
For the said reasons that you just stated, no. Why would you deploy the National Guard for what seems to be more like healthcare? You know, the National Guard couldn't even help with that. What would they do? It would be
What I'm
different if
saying
it's
is,
violent.
National Guard can't help with what Trump is claiming in these states either. There's nothing happening in these states.
Again, I would
Okay,
agree
okay.
with
So if
Portland.
if Joe Biden said the crime rate in Mississippi is too high, the crime rate's too high, and Mississippi does not want me to federalize my their National Guard, should Joe Biden be able to send in the California National Guard to Mississippi to solve the crime in Mississippi?
It's not violence; it's political violence that allows the president to deploy the National Guard.
That's not
It's
true.
not violence.
But there's not political violence happening in the areas we talked about, like Portland. There's not political violence
LA,
happening. There was
LA,
not.
there was political violence in LA.
No. Even for that
What
situation,
was all the car
even for that
burnings and stuff
situation,
about?
even for that
Any
situation, even for that situation, president being able to send the military. Do you think it can be a problem for the president to be able to send the military wherever they want at any time, or federal
Yes, that's
agents?
why there's checks and balances. Yes, I absolutely agree that no, you can't just unilaterally.
Is there one area in America that's crime free?
No.
Okay, so there's a crime problem everywhere in America and probably everywhere in the world, right?
But we're not talking about crime. We're talking about political violence, which is
There's
different.
political violence in pretty much every state in America, right?
I would agree. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you're saying that, therefore, if there's political violence in every state in America, then the president can send the federal agents and National Guard of any state into those states, into any state they want to
No,
pick,
it would have to be
since
a
there's political
problem.
violence everywhere.
No, it would have to become a problem, like a regular thing or an ongoing, 3-day riot like that was just recently in LA.
So, okay.
That.
So, when we talk about Portland right now, and nothing's happening like that
No,
whatsoever,
I conceded to that.
then
No, I
why is
conceded to
Trump?
that.
Then why is
That-
Trump? Okay, if that's true, why is Trump currently saying that the city's burning, the windows are boarded up, and why is he calling for a military occupation of Portland if none of that's happening? Even after the judge,
What?
his own judge, said no.
Look, I think you don't understand that we're on the same page there. I don't know. I haven't heard him say anything about Portland.
But
But if he is saying that-
what I said is that's authoritarian. At that
But
point,
I don't think it's authoritarian. I think it's overreach, and I think if he's
Overreach.
lying, he may be lying.
you can use a bunch of other words for authoritarianism, but yeah, overreach. It's government overreach. Yeah, it's overreach. Yeah, sure.
Yes, that would be the more correct term for government, instead of authoritarianism. Because, again, I don't know if you know who Andrew Wilson is, but you should probably watch him. He can explain it a lot better than I could. But every president has the capability of being an authoritarian because they control, when you're the U.S. president of America, you control the largest military in the world. And you have the most power in the entire world. That's authoritarian. You would have to concede that every president is authoritarian.
Is there one situation under Biden that's even somewhat comparable to the Portland situation right now?
I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know they were pushing COVID vaccines real hard, but that's not really comparable to this.
Well, Trump did that too. Trump paid for the COVID vaccines. Trump just got a booster, and Trump supported like mandating some vaccines when he was still president in 2020.
I mean, I guess I don't really know too much about
Like
that.
all this Facebook
but-
censorship happened under Trump when it began about vaccines. So like the
But it
big
wasn't-
thing
but-
is
but you can all
you
agree
can
that it
you can
wasn't
say, but
Trump
this is
that
like
was-
this is what I mean though. Like Andrew Wilson, because I've seen some of his stuff. He uses the logic of a 5-year-old. Okay, because you can say, well, everything can be authoritarian. Like technically, driving over the speed limit 5 miles per hour. Actually, no. Let's say you're driving 5 miles over, like you're going 4 miles over. And actually, no, that's a dumb example. Everything's authoritarian. Everything. Okay, if you jaywalk, if you do something wrong, if you do something against the law, if you do whatever, is bad. If you drone strike, if you do whatever, if you bypass laws of any kind, if you all this different stuff. Like Trump was targeting student visas if they spoke out against Israel, for example, on behalf of a foreign government. We were going to terrorize people with ICE agents. Everything can be authoritarian if you want to look at coercion and government coercion. Like libertarians will argue that taxation is absolute theft. They will argue that government doing anything at all, enforcing any laws whatsoever, is authoritarian. They'll argue everything's authoritarian. So we need to look at the constraints of our system and the Constitution, and who pushes those boundaries, who breaks those boundaries, who wants to bypass those systems. And in my opinion, if someone gives a lot of much reason that they want to break these systems, like Trump, for example, in 2020, where he literally said he wanted to suspend the Constitution and seize ballot machines in states he lost. When you want to break the Constitution, like Trump wants to do, I would categorize that as authoritarian when we talk about our Constitution and the limits of our system.
No. I mean, he obviously didn't get to do that. So, I mean, you can say that's a wannabe, but you can't say that it's authoritarianism because he didn't actually get to do that. Now, every
but he tried. If someone tries to hurt you and they fail, they tried to hurt you still, right?
But now you're taking it to a different. That's not the same thing.
No, but just because he failed, but this is what I'm sorry. I don't want to. I'll let you talk after this, but like, just because he failed at doing the election stealing, just because he failed. And I would say he's successful since he won again. He was able to successfully steal the election, in my opinion. Not he didn't like steal it this time, but the fact that he was able to not get any repercussion from January 6th or whatever, and people just forgot about it, is a huge thing.
Well, because there was nothing that could have been done. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't break any laws. Every person who loses an election has the right to ask for a recount. They have a right to,
Why does Trump still lie about it? Why does Trump still lie about it after all the recounts and legal challenges?
I mean, we can all be serious about this. He was butthurt for losing.
He still lies about it. He still wants to jail people who said it was certified. No, but that's not just butthurt. That's not okay. I'm sorry, but this is not just butthurt, dude. You can't just say like, "Oh, Hitler was butthurt, so he passed the Enabling Act." Like, you can't just be like, "Oh, he was butthurt." Like, these are authoritarian moves, bro. Like, once you say elections cannot be trusted in America, that's a call for violence. And you have to understand
Clinton
that.
Also, that's not a call. No.
Okay, when did Hillary Clinton concede?
She conceded
the next morning. The next morning, she literally is on. She's literally on a stage conceding the election the next morning.
Okay, just because she said that she conceded, that means nothing. You have to.
She literally conceded. She conceded. She had no legal challenges. No challenges. She conceded. Done. It was done the day after. Trump today still does not concede, and he pardoned every January 6er, all of them, even the violent ones.
Okay, I'll concede to that, and let's move on to what you just said. You said he had a call to violence. Where?
If you tell he told his supporters before January 6th that if they lose this election, the country's going to be gone. We're going to have a 1929 style depression. We're going to be flooded with migrants who are going to assault all of their wives and daughters. He says that if Democrats win, they're all basically going to die. But the election is going to be stolen, so you can't really trust the election. So like if he wins, it's cool, but if he loses, it's existential. And he was trying to illegally have an alternative slate of electors, which is a whole another thing where you basically you rig the vote. And Mike Pence, he wanted Mike Pence to basically throw out the real votes and put in fake votes. And that's why his supporters chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." So if you tell your supporters there's no option other than winning this election, or you're going to not survive, and you lose the election, you're basically telling them they have to fight to keep their country alive. And then you get people yelling, "Hang Mike Pence" and "Kill Mike Pence." Yeah, at the same rally where Trump calls out Mike Pence and says he should do the right thing.
Okay, you can't say that. He never said kill Mike Pence. He never said hang.
But Trump said if you don't stop this, if you don't stop Biden from taking office, you are gonna all die basically. Then he said Mike Pence can do the right thing and save us, but I don't know if he will. After Mike Pence told him he was not gonna screw the election over. Okay, so at that point, when the natural conclusion of that is hang Mike Pence to his supporters. When Trump, if you truly think it's an existential crisis, and Mike Pence is the person standing in the way of Trump winning, that's why they chanted hang Mike Pence. There's no other reason, and that's why Mike Pence is no longer Trump's VP.
Okay, So would you concede to what you just said that Kamala called for violence this entire election
How?
by saying he's Hitler, that he's going to destroy Black America, he's going to...
Wait, she never
know...
said he's Hitler. She never said he's Hitler. That never happened.
Okay, so she didn't say that Project 2025 was going to take Black people's rights away?
I mean, she may have said that about... Okay, wait. I said she didn't say... I said she didn't call him Hitler.
Are you sure about that?
That never happened. No. She barely called him a fascist, but she never called him Hitler. No. J.D. Vance called him
she
Hitler.
definitely called him a fascist.
Yeah, I mean,
J.D.
Trump
Vance did
called her a
back
fascist.
in, 2018, I think is when
Trump called her a fascist. So.
Well, I mean, but all right, look, both sides made these wild accusations about what was going to happen to America. That goes for Trump and Kamala and Joe Biden. Joe Biden actually said that we need to stop him and throw him in jail, which is crazy because
over illegal things, by the way. Trump put up pictures of Biden tied up in the back of trucks and gave no reason for doing it and for why Biden should be in jail. But the Trump stuff, he did actual illegal things. But like, okay, why if that was true, if this is all true, if both sides have an issue,
it's definitely true.
Why was there no riot or January 6th when Trump won in 2016, 2017, or in 2024, 2025? If there really was such huge rhetoric from like Kamala, why was there no protest outside of, or no riot outside of the certification of the election results in 2025?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I mean, right.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. I can tell you exactly why.
Good. I'm listening.
It's because, again, Trump said the elections are fake. Okay, so if you lose the election, there's no way to change this country. If we lose, it's existential. We are all going to die, basically. So we have to fight, make sure we don't ever lose again. All right, so if we lose, it's rigged. If it's rigged and you don't want to fall apart and if you don't want your country to fall apart and your wives and daughters to be assaulted by illegal migrants, then you need to fight to make sure I keep power, okay? He says elections are fake. There's no other way to change things because elections are fake. But Democrats say we need to vote. We trust the election count. And whether Trump wins, whether Kamala wins, whether Biden wins, whether anybody wins, they will certify the election. They will not say the votes are fake. So if you say, my opponent's really damaging for America, so vote for me, that's far different from saying my opponent's very damaging for America, you're all going to... And no one said directly to anybody that Trump's going to kill all of you like Trump said to his supporters about liberals. But even if they did, they still believe in voting as the primary mechanism for creating change in America. They never said elections are fake. And that's what I mean. Like, denying elections is like a core pinnacle. That is the thing when it comes to an authoritarian. Because if you deny elections in a democracy, people see no other choice other than violence. So we need to make sure people believe and they understand the elections are able to be trusted because they are. Trump gave no proof on the election being stolen. And that is probably the most damaging thing he's done.
Nope, I'm absolutely with you here. I think Trump never should have done that. I 100% agree.
Okay.
I don't agree that he was the cause of January 6th. I do disagree with that.
Okay.
What else? I think it's bad for both sides to have rhetoric. Hold on one second. I think it's bad for both sides to have rhetoric that is damaging to the political movements left and right. That means, earlier what you were saying about Trump and what he was talking about Kamala and stuff, and Kamala and them calling him, a fascist wannabe dictator that's going to implement, Project 2025 and all that. It's all bad.
Well, he is doing that though. But no, I'm sorry, but like that was not a lie. Trump endorsed Project 2025.
But where's it? If he's in power now, where's it happening? And explain to me, because if I'm missing it, then shine some light on it.
So like one thing in Project 2025.
I want to actually learn as much from this.
So the Jimmy Kimmel thing where the FCC chair said that we could do this the easy way or the hard way, and he almost got Jimmy Kimmel taken down by using like licensing as a weapon.
Trump got Jimmy Kimmel.
So Trump's FCC director, they manage like the airwaves and a bunch of other stuff. So like they manage media companies and mergers and licensing, broadcast licenses. So did you see Jimmy Kimmel almost got kicked off air a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so they threatened Jimmy Kimmel's station, essentially saying, "We're going to take your license away if you don't ban Jimmy Kimmel." Now there was public outcry, and it was very unpopular, so they took it back. But that's one part of Project 2025, where they used the FCC as a weapon to take away licenses from speech they don't like. So that's one thing in Project 2025. Brandon Carr, the director of the FCC, was the person who wrote Project 2025, the FCC section. Russell Vogt, in charge of the Office of the Management and Budget Office, whatever it's called. That guy was a huge writer of Project 2025, probably one of the main ones, probably the main writer. He is doing all these layoffs. He wants to terrorize federal workers. He's the reason the VA is being demolished. The Social Security agency administration is being demolished. All these different agencies, all across America, they're being torn apart because they're following Project 2025 and what's in there to attack the rights of like federal workers and the protections they have, going after liberals and federal government, trying to fire them. Like, this is all stuff they said that they did not want to do, but then a lot of what Trump's done so far is completely in line with Project 2025. And he even endorsed it a few days ago on his Twitter because he lied about it during the election. The unidentified federal agents in the streets, the ICE agents, that's another thing that they lied about. Trump said he was going to go after the worst of the worst. He said, I'm going to invade all the cartels and gang members and whatever. I guarantee you, if Trump would have ran on, we are going to send masked federal agents into elementary schools, I think that would have been a bad, if he was honest about that, he would have gotten less support, in my opinion. All these things are things he lied about.
I mean, sure, definitely. I'm definitely not pro illegal immigrants. I'm pro immigrant. I'm pro immigration. But I want people to come here absolutely legally. Now, for the whole children elementary thing, I haven't heard about that. I did actually see right before I called a video of a kid, like 6-year-old kid in handcuffs. I don't agree with that crap. I don't know much about Project 2025, but I didn't think it had anything to do with FCC, but I never read it because I read like one paragraph, thought it was bullshit.
It's a long report.
Yeah, it's way too long. I read a little bit of it, thought it was stupid and impossible to pass, which I still think most of it probably would be impossible to pass. Like, we're never going to take away.
It's 60% done. It's 60% done. And part of that is saying the president can basically just like cancel funding for projects he doesn't like. So Russell Vogt right now, he's withholding $18 billion of federal funding that was approved by Congress from New York City based on political reasons because they're liberals. They're canceling projects in only states that voted for Kamala Harris right now from the federal government. Which that never happened before. Biden's policies benefited red states more than blue states, and now Trump is using the federal government to consolidate power in the executive branch, to target, cancel contracts in blue states to attack liberal areas. That's also
now
another
we're
Project
getting
2025
there, because if that's true, that would be authoritarianism.
Well, look up Russell Vogt. Look up Russell Vogt, and I appreciate the call. I'm hitting an hour, which is usually my limit right nowadays. But look up Russell Vogt cancels. I believe it was 18. Let me look at the number. It was like 18. Russell Vogt canceled 18 contracts. How many contracts was it? Now they're gonna call it the green new. They call it the green new scam funding, but they did not cancel the same funding. Okay, they did not cancel the same funding in red states, and Texas got most of the funding. They did not cancel it. The states are California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington. So they canceled contracts in these states, and they kept all the contracts in the red states. And like I said, Texas gets the most of them by far. So it's green new scam funding if it's for blue states, but if it's for a red state, it's okay. So yeah, definitely look that up because that's that Project 2025 stuff. That's all in there. There's a tracker as well. It's like 60% done of the Project 2025. So maybe you can call it a different time. But hey, man, I do appreciate the good faith conversation.
I just want to leave on something though. I think you're a good dude. I don't agree with what Trump is doing now. I think he is failing as of right now. I hope it does turn around because I do love America. And it was great talking to you, man. And hopefully you guys have a great night.
Yeah, appreciate the call. Hope to see you on the channel.
Later.
I see you. That was a good call. I mean, it's gonna be frustrating, but like, I never would have guessed that he would not view using the military and National Guard and federal agents in a weaponized manner against blue states. He does not view that as authoritarian. That's not authoritarian. But the office of the budget office, the management and budget office, Russell Vogt canceling contracts for green energy projects in only blue states and not red states, that would be what he considers to be authoritarianism. So I'm not sure if you guys would agree, but it's surprising that the military stuff, the federal agent stuff, is not authoritarianism to him, but the federal contracts are. That was really interesting. It was interesting. That part was interesting. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat much today. You read the entire Project 2025 manifesto. None of what's going on is surprising to me. Yeah. The that 6-year-old was actually 26. They released her and gave her back her cigarettes. Bro, that's true. That is true. Contracts for what? Wow, Dano Jax. Interesting. He put Qatar in Idaho, LOL blue state. What? Are you gonna debate Trump now? Trump can't debate. He cannot have a conversation. He just insults people. And people like it because he used to be funny. Admit is true after you end the call. I didn't admit anything's true or not true. I said it's funny that they're both authoritarian, but it's funny he saw one as authoritarian and another one as not. Trump got the tape bros freed from Hungarian prison. Cool. I'll take this last call, guys. One more call. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe, donate.
Hi, this is Brenda.
Whoa. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm calling you. I am indeed calling you.
Hello?
Hello, this is the YouTube thing. What's up?
Hey, just, is it the live or?
Yeah, you're live right now.
Alright, I guess like a different tempo. I just feel like people aren't talking anymore to people they disagree with. And I'm not Democrat or Republican. I think neither of us is getting served right now. Like, it's coming to the point like where we just hate each other and we're not bringing people, like, I guess the word I'm going to use, like, under our tent. So like, start bringing people under your tent. Like, try to listen to them and have them repeat. Does that make sense?
I just feel like in a political climate where like the president can only do insults, I don't know how us as Americans
bullying.
can have a higher standard than the president. It's kind of difficult.
I agree with that, but we don't need to bully each other. I guess, so I do hair, and when I'm sitting there talking with the customer, we don't have the same political views, but over time, like, they've started to change their views, like something like immigration. They don't agree, like, illegals should be here. They hate them. They're evil. And then over time, it's like, well, who are the immigrants in your family? Who are the gay people in your family? It needs to be more of a conversation, I think, between us as human beings versus just watching what we see on the news and it being an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber and everybody's in it on their phones.
No, I agree, and that's a huge issue. And if you try to have a conversation with some people, they are kind of on the algorithm. Or even if you have a good conversation, they'll be right back on their phones, hearing, a different opinion, or not even a different opinion, just they'll believe a version of you the media tells them to believe in. So if you're watching Fox News, they say, "Oh, liberals are dumb, they hate you, whatever." And then we don't actually talk in person. And if we did talk in person, we agree. Like most Americans agree with the sentiment that if you're here in America, you're not doing any crimes, then you should have a path to become a citizen. A citizen. We don't want to see random federal agents ripping people and babies and children out of their homes and zip tying them and hurting people for no reason, for nonviolent offenses. All of us have done something illegal, whether it's 5 miles over the speed limit, whether it's jaywalking. We've all done something that's a minor infraction. We don't want to see the government beat people up. We should have a strong like border, but we need to be human still and have that human conversation and really understand people and care about other people. We're the richest country in the world. We have the ability and the luxury to care about people. But right now, I feel like we're acting like it's survival of the fittest, where we barely have any resources. But that's just not true. We're doing this by we're hurting ourselves at our it's our own choice to act like this.
Yeah, we're being pitted against each other, and that's the big issue. Like I'm with you on a lot of things. We're being pitted against each other, and we need to all start seeing beyond Democrat, Republican. This isn't like the Broncos versus whatever. Like this isn't teams anymore. This is us as human beings. This isn't a rivalry. Like these are our neighbors, these are our moms or brothers or sisters. Whether you disagree with them being gay or it's becoming so volatile, and I think we're all exhausted.
I'll
And I
say,
think that's
yeah.
why a lot of people identified with Trump is he said, "Oh, I'm going to do something different." And yeah, he did something different, but it was for himself. It was very selfish, and it still is very selfish. And they wanted the different, and the Democrats didn't serve the different. The Democrats, can I swear? They fucked us
Yeah.
too. They fucked us too. Like, okay, there was Bernie. That was an option, right? They fucked us on that. And then they didn't even have a plan with Biden. And so they just jumped in Harris. And I don't
Yeah,
have an issue.
yeah, that's true.
They jumped her in. So like they didn't have a fucking plan because they don't care either.
I
They're
agree
like the
to a large
status
extent.
quo.
Yeah, I don't think they care that much. What Trump's doing right now is not much of a. I mean, for many of them, they're gonna be fine. They're rich. It doesn't matter. But even when I talk to Trump supporters and I see these videos. I don't know if you saw them, but the government makes videos, hype videos with like rap beats behind them, celebrating beating up immigrants as if it's a fun thing that should be
Oh, it's wild. Yeah, it's
representing our
sad.
nation, immigrant ASMR, and I have Trump supporters that I know. I grew up in a very red area, and I'll tell them
Yeah, me
like, "Hey, dude, it's not a Super Bowl." They were bragging after the election. We told you he was gonna win, and I'm like, dude, I know people who now need to carry a passport with them because federal agents don't believe they're citizens because they're brown. Like they just don't believe it, so they might be detained to be forced to
Oh,
give their
even my
paperwork.
immigrant family from Canada, my naturalized partner that
Hmm.
served in the army, infantry, that got naturalized in, is afraid. Like, how is that okay? He served your country, he went to Afghanistan, and now we feel like we have to carry paperwork. And same with the Native Americans, they're starting to carry paperwork too.
Yeah, anybody
It
that looks like, and I don't use the word white privilege, but if there is ever a time to use it, it would be with ICE agents. They're not going to just get a random white person usually, unless if you're going through like a border or something and they have to check your papers. But they're literally racially profiling right now, and they think it's legal to do that. And courts are giving them wins on it, and they're profiling based off of accent or language. But much of America, Los Angeles is called Los Angeles for a reason. We have a lot of parts of this country that were born from the Spanish language and other cultures that are not white, white Europeans, and like even Italians or any ethnic group that was ever looked down on in American history. There needs to be an understanding across them. There's a uniting way to talk about all these issues, but I do fear that the algorithms and the artificial intelligence, half the comments after the Charlie Kirk assassination, for example, half the comments I've seen people that I know personally complaining about, or even on the internet, like this person's celebrating it, or this person
and you
is
haven't
racist.
actually seen it. You haven't
It's
actually
bots.
seen it.
It's
just
also
being
bots.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's random
I
tiny
agree.
accounts. If you talk to any real person, any like actual Democratic politician, none of them celebrated anything. They were completely solemn, completely
No.
shocked. And the fact people keep saying, "Oh, the people celebrating this are crazy," that's literally 1% of the population they're complaining about.
Yep. Yeah, I think people need to start talking more with people that they're uncomfortable with. So if you're uncomfortable with black people or immigrants or gays or transgender, go have a conversation with these people. Get to know them, and you won't be so afraid of them. And it's the fear. It's this fear mongering, and it's working. You guys are letting it work on both ends, Republican and Democrat. It is working, and I don't know what we're going to do about it, but I think we need to talk to the people we know, the people we interact with on a day-to-day basis, and get uncomfortable with knowing people that you don't understand their religion. Talk to them about their religion, and you'll realize, like, it's all based around the same thing. We are the same. That's I guess that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope I want a leader to talk about not just policy stuff, because I don't think most people talk about policy that often. I want someone to become a leader and give a vision for what America should be, like what our society should be, how we should view each other, how we should view. Because I think having an end goal, having a common vision, a shared vision of what the future could look like, is much bigger than having random policy debates or talking about some culture topic or
Yeah,
arguing
just
over
getting
even
people
healthcare
on these
policy.
points that don't matter.
Yeah,
These points
and
don't
trans
matter.
people, it's difficult because it's hard to find a trans person. There's so few trans people, so it's the
I
same
have
with gay
3
people.
trans
Like, yeah.
clients, and you just have to talk to people. That's it. We just have
Well,
to
that's
talk
why
to
gay
people.
people got accepted, because more people met gay people over time. More people had gay kids, so they had to
Yep.
become more accepting. Once they met them, they're like, "Oh, this isn't that scary." So when Trump says the migrants are here to assault your wives and stuff, the truth is they're much more likely to be assaulted by an American citizen male than a migrant, like by far. But they're not going to make laws just targeting men in America, God forbid. They're never going to do that.
Yeah. I really appreciate you talking. Like, it's hard to see what's going on, and when you sit down and talk to people, we have more in common than we don't. If you just stop with, like, the crazy political topics, everybody's on this Charlie Kirk thing, and you're 100% right. I haven't heard anyone say, "Oh, I'm happy he's dead."
They might say he's a
It's not
dickhead.
a
They might say that, and that's fine to say. You
Yeah.
can say
Well,
he's a dickhead.
he's
Like, yeah.
I don't agree with his views,
A lot
but
of people are dickheads. Doesn't mean they should die.
yeah, exactly. So, yep. So, anyways, that's it. Yeah, I appreciate your time.
No, I really appreciate the call. We need more people calling into shows like this who are not chronically online and not chronically political, because we do need a human connection point. And I would argue that culture and social in these conversations matter more than political conversations, because that'll go into sports, that'll go into even things like fashion or acting. Like, this will go into every different field where people have actual conversations. Because anyone who's watching my channel every day talking about politics 24/7, including myself, we're not normal. And we need normal people to care about each
Oh,
other.
no, you got a good memory bank. I listened to you for like a good hour here. Like, you got a great memory. It's interesting to listen to you. So it's nice.
Hey, I really
it's nice.
appreciate it.
It's just too much negativity going around, and it's hard sometimes. So I just wanted to call in and try to be a medium person, I guess you could say.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for calling
Thanks.
in. Definitely feel free to call in another time. Hope you have a great night.
You too. Bye.
I see you. Someone said, "Are you stupid? I've seen hundreds of videos with people just like these idiots celebrating his death and laughing about it, saying, 'Oh, there's 2 more we should take out.'" So, unsub. You say you've seen hundreds of people in videos like these idiots. So we obviously are not saying what you are claiming we're saying, because we're saying the opposite. So we already know, number 1, you're dishonest and you're a liar. Okay? And number 2, we know you're emotionally weak. So when the algorithms show you videos of these dumbasses saying bad things about the Charlie Kirk shooting, now you want to say they represent the entire population. You realize they show you those videos because they know you're stupid. Like, the algorithms give you that video because they know you'll engage with it and you'll watch it and you'll get mad about it. And if you get mad about it, you'll be more expressive on their platform. You get mad about it, you engage more, you give them more money, more advertising revenue. That's the game the algorithms play. If you follow what the social, this is how I know you don't go outside and you don't talk to people. And people don't do that. That's the issue. Social media is ruining all of us. Okay.
comments on this. They're getting out. What's your name?
Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please consider becoming a patron for the channel. Become a patron on my Patreon in the description. Appreciate you watching. I gotta go take care of something. Thank you for watching. Please donate, please subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I have to go take care of something though. Because I'm getting digital, what's the word? Digitally, whatever. I'm getting attacked by someone trying to hack into my accounts, by the way, so gotta go take care of that. Hopefully I don't get fully hacked, but you know. All right, well, have a good night. Let me go take care of this. See, I would have streamed longer, but all right. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. I'll be on tomorrow again at 10 p.m. I'll be on at 10 p.m. tomorrow. No, I could see the notifications popping up. I gotta take care of it. All right. Join Discord in my chat, in my description. Yeah, I can see them trying to get into my accounts. Yeah. Yeah. Send money. Send money, guys. Thank you for watching. Join Discord. Here's the Discord. I'm gonna drop it in chat. Thank you to all my callers. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to everyone. Yeah, chat is always a MAGA rally because they don't have jobs. Alright, have a good night, guys.